Sanskrit also.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Jyoti Mataji, can you please put it in Devanagari as well, please?
Divya Gaurangi Mataji sharing the screen. Mataji, please put it on Sanskrit as well.
Oh, okay.
Devanagari.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Oh,
Mataji, can you start, please, with invocation? Thank you.
okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Chapter 3, Text 1. The calculation of time from the atom. मैत्रेय उवाच चरणं सतिशेषाणां मणिको संयुतं सदा परमाणुसविज्ञेयो नृणामेक्यभ्रमो यतः.
The material manifestations, ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. It exists always as an invisible identity. Even after the dissolution of all forms, the material body is but a combination of such atoms, but it is misunderstood by the common man.
Next. सत एव पदार्थस्य स्वरूपावस्थितस्य यतः केवल्यं परममाहान् विशेषो निरन्तरः.
Atoms are the ultimate state of the manifest universe. When they stay in their own forms, without forming different bodies, they are called the ultimate oneness. They are certainly different bodies in physical forms, but the atoms themselves form the complete manifestation.
एवं कालोऽप्य अनुमीत क्षोक्षे च तम संस्थानभुक्ता भगवान् व्यक्तो व्यक्तभुवि भुवः.
One can estimate time by measuring the movement of the atomic combination of bodies. Time is the potency of all the almighty personality of Godhead. Hari, who controls all physical movement, although he is not visible in the physical world.
सकालपरमाणुवे यो भुक्ति परमाणुतां सतो विशस्यभुग्यस्तु सकालपरमो महान्.
Atomic time is measured according to its covering a particular atomic space. That time which covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms is called the great time.
अणुद्यो परमाणुस्थाल सरेणुस्त्रयस्मृतः चालाकरस्य सम्यक् भगवत खमेवानुपतन्यगतः.
The division of gross time is calculated as follows. 2 atoms make one double atom, and 3 double atoms make one hexatom. This hexatom is visible in the sunshine which enters through the holes of a window screen. One can clearly see that the hexatom goes up towards the sky.
त्रसेणु त्रिकम्भोक्तेय कालसत्रुतिस्मृतः शतभागस्तु वेद्यस्या ते स्त्रीभिस्तु लवस्मृतः.
The time duration needed for the integration of the 3 thrusters is called a dhruti. and 100 Trutis make one Veda. 3 Vedas make one lava.
निमेषस्त्रीलवो ज्ञेय अम्रातस्ते त्रयक्षणः क्षणानां पञ्चविदुकाष्ठां लघुता दश पञ्च च
The duration of time of 3 lavas is equal to 1 nimsa. The combination of 3 nimsas makes 1 kansa. 5 kansas combined together makes 1 kasta, and 15 kastas make 1 lanku.
लघुनिवेशमाम्राता दश पञ्च च नाडिका ते दे मुहूर्तप्रहर सद्यामः सप्तनूनाम्
15 lagus make 1 nadika, which is also called a danda. 2 dandas make 1 murata, and 6 or 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night, according to human calculation.
द्वादशाधपलोमानं चतुर्भिः चतुरकुलेः स्वर्णमासे कृतसिन्द्रं यावप्रस्थचललुप्तम्
The measuring pot for 1 nadika or danda can be prepared with a 6 pala weight, 14-ounce pot of copper, in which a hole is bored with a gold probe weighing 4 masa and measuring 4 fingers long. When the pot is placed on water, the time before the water overflows in the pot is called 1 danda.
यमाश्चत्वारो मृत्यान्नामहनीयुभे पक्षपञ्चदशाहानि शुक्लकृष्णश्च मानदः
It's calculated that there are 4 praharyas, which are also called yamnas, in the day and 4 in the night of the human being. Similarly, 15 days and nights are a fortnight, and there are 2 fortnights, white and black, in a month.
तयो समुच्चयो मास पितॄणां तर्दहनिशं धोत्रावृतं सन्दयन्नं दक्षिणं चोत्तरं दिवि
The aggregate rate of 2 fortnights in 1 month, and that period is 1 complete day and night for the Pitta planets. 2 of such months comprise 1 season, and 6 months comprise 1 complete movement of the sun from south to north.
अयने चाहनि प्राहु वत्सरो द्वादश स्मृतः स्वस्वरसन्तनं नूनां परमायुनिरूपितम्
2 solar movements make 1 day and night of the demigods, and that combination of day and night is 1 complete calendar year for the human being. The human being has a duration of life of 100 years.
ग्रह ग्रहक्षताराचक्रस्थ परमाण्वादिना जगत् सर्वस्वरावसानेन प्रयत्य निमिषो विभुः
Influential stars, planets, luminaries, and atoms all over the universe are rotating in their respective orbits under the direction of the Supreme, represented by eternal Kalya.
Yeah. सवसर परिवर्षर इदावर्षर एव च अनुवर्षरो वर्षरश्च विदुरेवं प्रभाष्यते.
There are 5 different names for the orbits of the sun, moon, stars, and luminaries in the fire firmament, and they each have their own samasvatar. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we're reading up to 14th verse today.
It's 50.
One more? Okay. Yeah, verse 15.
यशुजशक्तिमुहूर्तो स्वसंय स्वसखत्यया उषान्दभाम्रमादिवि धावति पुतुभेदः कालाखया गुणमयं कर्तुभिवीतवन्तवम् तस्तं स्वे बलिहरत वत्सर पञ्चकाय.
It's still 14 only, Mataji. Devika, if you want, you can read. That's fine.
Okay. O Vidura, the sun enlivens all living entities with his ultimate heat and light. He diminishes the duration of life of all living entities in order to release them from their illusion of material attachment. He enlarges the path of elevation to the heavenly kingdom. He thus moves in the firmament with great velocity, and therefore everyone should offer him respects once every 5 years with all ingredients of worship. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Meena Mataji and Devika. Thank you so much. That was wonderful recitation. We'll start with the prayers. And today's verses are 6 to 11. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome all of you to chapter a day after a long time for me. So I'm very happy and very grateful for the opportunity. So I get to be Krishna conscious in your association at least for this half an hour or 45 minutes. So thank you so much. Please forgive if I make any mistakes and please do correct me. So this is just the beginning of a few verses of chapter 11 of Canto 3. And in the 10th chapter, before this chapter 11, we have seen that Brahma created 14 planetary systems in this world, in this universe. And their characteristics of time were discussed, and also 6 types of primary creation done by the Lord, and 4 types of secondary creations done by Brahma. That was discussed in chapter 10. And this chapter 11, is a very small chapter. It is a simple chapter. There are many terminologies here, and it is a technical chapter. I do not see when I read this chapter any pastimes or stories, or there is no real analysis or philosophy to be discussed, or there are no lessons or no prayers. So it is basically we have to go through this chapter. We just have to read and understand. There are many terminologies here used, various Vedic terminologies for the time, like how we have modern time, seconds, minutes, hour. Here, Vedic terminology is used. So basically, there is not much discussion here, but we have to go through the chapter and read through, which everyone can do. So yes, it is simple and smaller chapter. In the first shloka, we saw here, let me try to scroll up quickly. First verse of this chapter discusses, it says that Parmanu is the ultimate particle, which is indivisible, which means that in the entire universe, this is the smallest particle, and the terminology is Parmanu. So that means that we can't cut Parmanu any further. We can't divide it. It is the smallest particle, which is Parmanu. And thereafter, in the second verse, it talks about Param Mahan. So, what is Param Mahan? All the combination of all the Paramanus in the entire universe together is called Param Mahan. So, that is the totality of all the Paramanus, all particles put together is Param Mahan. So, just as matter has small and big divisions, and thus time also has its divisions. And then we can see that the terminology used here is Parmanutam in verse 4, which means that time covered by the sun while it passes over an atom. So that is called Parmanutam, the time that the sun takes to pass an atom. So it is the smallest fraction of time. To do that, it needs the smallest fraction of time. And Param Mahan time is time, which is Param Mahan is which time? That is the time that is from the beginning of the creation of this material world, from the time of its manifestation of this universe till the destruction of the entire universe. So that is Param Mahan time. And then further from verse 5 to 15 is one big section where divisions of time are various verses are discussed. They are discussing divisions of time. And today's verses are 6 to 11. So I thought that we will read the verse, we will read the synonyms together. The purports are very small, translations are small. I think a couple of verses don't even have purports towards the end. So we will read and see that what we can discuss. I just have put some thoughts together in respect of Kala or time. So we may even conclude early today, which is nice in a way for all of you also. So please bear with me till then. So text 6, I would like to recite. त्रसरेणु त्रिकं भुङ्क्ते यः कालः स त्रुटि स्मृतः शतभागस्तु भेदः स्यात् तैस्त्रिभिस्तु लवः स्मृतः. Trasharenu Trikam, combination of three hexatomes. Bhunkte, as they take time to integrate. Yaha, that which. Kala, duration of time. Saha, that. Truti, by the name Truti. Smruta is called Shatabhaga, 100 Trutis. Tu, but. Veda, called a Veda. Syat, it so happens. Tai, by them. Tribhi, three times. Tu, but. Lava, lover. Smruta, so called. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The time duration needed for the integration of three Trasarenus is called a Truti, and 100 Trutis make one Veda. Three Vedas make one Lava. Purport. It is calculated that if a second is divided into 1687.5 parts, each part is the duration of a Truti, which is the time occupied in the integration of 18 atomic particles. Such a combination of atoms into different bodies creates the calculation of material time. The sun is the central point for calculating all different durations. So here we can see the one word that all of you must have also noticed here is lava, right? There is one verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.54. Lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. So what is this lava? And there the translation Srila Prabhupada says that it means verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. So one moment's association, lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. You can achieve the greatest siddhi, and the greatest siddhi is achieving Krishna prema, love for Krishna, love for God, right? It does not come easy. It is the most valuable thing and the purpose of human life. And how we can get it? By one moment's association of a pure devotee. So that lava, that means it's a second. So for example, in 1 hour, in one day we have 24 hours, right? And each hour has 60 minutes, and each minute has 60 seconds, and each second has further subdivisions of seconds like millisecond, nanosecond, etc. Right? So here, so that is the terminology in modern times, right? Hours, minutes, seconds, and that's how time is calculated. And here in this verses, we can see that Vedic way of calculation of time is given with Vedic terminologies. So, for example, we will read here the terms like Anu. Here there is a Trasharenu, then Truti, Veda, Lava. For example, three Vedas are 845th second. Then we will also come across terminology Kashtha, which is equal to 8 seconds. Then Lagu, Muhurta, one Muhurta is 2 dandas, etc. like that. So when we are coming across these terms, they are the Vedic way of calculating the time. And here it is says that the sun is the central point for calculating all different durations. So how is the time? How is the time calculated? So calculation of time is with respect to the movements of the sun. And it reminds me of there is one beautiful verse in Brahma Samhita. Yachakshuresha savita sakalagrahana raja samast सुरमूर्तिरशेष तेजः यस्याग्नया भ्रमति संवृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. I'm not sure if I have put it somewhere here, if I can share. Yes, Is this visible now, Shri Brahma Samhita? Can anyone tell me? Has the screen changed to Shri Brahma Samhita 552?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Yes, we can see Brahma
Ah,
Samhita.
Thank you, Indulekha. Yeah. So this is
Thank
the
you.
verse I recited. It's one of my favorite verses in Brahma Samhita. Like even in the morning when we see sunrise here in London now, like coming in the March, we do see the sun in the morning, and then I like to recite this verse. It's one of my favorite verses because it says that sun is nothing but the eye of Govinda, Lord Govinda, and even sun is doing all its journeys and everything under the direction and command of Govinda. So it's such a beautiful verse. Then, and without sunlight we cannot live. It is like the life of all the planets and life of the earth planet. So the sun, who is the king of all the planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul, is as the eye of this world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. So, this is also a Devta, sun god. We worship sun god, right? Certain professors of Vedic religion worship the sun as Brahman. The sun is one of the hierarchy of the five gods. Some people target in heat the source of this world and therefore designate the sun, the only location of heat, as the root cause of this world. Notwithstanding all that may be said to the contrary, the sun is, after all, only the presiding deity of a sphere of the sum total of all mundane heat, and is hence a god exercising delegated authority. So he is been delegated this work to do. Sun god by whom? By Krishna, by Lord Govinda. So he is basically functioning under the order and command of Govinda. All the demigods are working under the instruction of the Lord. They are the devotees, they are executing the orders of the Lord. So this verse, it reminded me of Yat Chakshuresha. So we'll now come to verse 7. निमेषस्त्रीलवोऽग्नेय आम्नातस्ते त्रय शनः शनान् पञ्च विदुकाष्ठां लघुता दश पञ्च च. Translation: The duration of time of three lavas is equal to one nimesha. The combination of three nimeshas makes one shana. Five shanas combined together make one kashtha, and 15 kashthas make one lagu. So shana, this is, we are quite familiar with this term, right? Shan. Many times we use also in Gujarati and probably Hindi. Shan, 1 second. By calculation, it is found that one laghu is equal to 2 minutes. The atomic calculation of time in terms of Vedic wisdom may be converted into present time with this understanding. So this is something to go through and read. So here the terms, new terms we heard is after lava, nimesha, and shana, kashtha, and lagu. Text 8. लघूनि वै समाम्नाता दश पञ्च च नाडिकां ते द्वे मुहूर्त प्रहरः सद्याम सप्तवा नृणाम्. 15 lagus make one nadika, which is also called a danda. 2 dandas make one muhurta, and 6 or 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night, according to human calculation. So now it's saying 15 lagus make one nadika, which is also called danda. So 15 lagus is also called danda. 2 dandas make one muhurta. So 30 lagus make one muhurta, that is 2 dandas. And 6 or 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night. So then you can calculate how many lagus. It is easy now. 15 lagus is 1 danda. So then 6 or 7 dandas is 1/4 of a day, right? So 6 dandas is what? 15 lagus make 1 danda. So 15 multiplied by 6, 90. So that is 1/4 of a day, 90 lagus. So this is how the calculation of time takes place. Then verse 9. द्वादशार्थफलोन्मानं चतुर्भिश्चतुरङ्गुलैः स्वर्णमाशैकृतच्छिद्रं यावत् पृष्ठजलप्लुतम्. The measuring pot for one nadika or danda can be prepared with a 6 palavate 14 ounce pot of copper in which a hole is bored with a gold probe weighing 4 mash and measuring 4 fingers long. When the pot is placed on water, the time before the water overflows in the pot is called one danda. It is advised herein that the bore in the copper measuring pot must be made with a probe weighing not more than 4 mash and measuring not longer than 4 fingers. This regulates the diameter of the hole. The pot is submerged in water and the overflooding time is called a danda. This is another way of measuring the duration of a danda. Just as time is measured by sand in a glass, it appears that in the days of Vedic civilization, there was no dearth of knowledge in physics, chemistry, or higher mathematics. Measurements were calculated in different ways, as simply as could be done. Text 10. यामश्चत्वारश्चत्वारो मर्त्यानाम् अहनि उभे प्रक्ष पञ्चदशाहानि शुक्लकृष्णश्च मानदा. It is calculated that there are 4 praharas, which are also called yamas, and in the day and 4 in night, in the day and 4 in the night of the human being. Similarly, 15 days and nights are a fortnight, and there are 2 fortnights, while white and black in a month. There is no purport here, so there is no discussion there also, or nothing from more explanation. Text 11. तयो समुच्चयो मासः पितॄणां तदहर्निशं द्वौ त्वाव्रतुषद् अयनं दक्षिणं चोत्तरं दिवि. Translation. The aggregate of 2 fortnights is 1 month. And that period is 1 complete day and night for the Pitta planets. 2 of such months comprise 1 season, and 6 months comprise 1 complete movement of the sun from south to north. Again, there is no purport here. So it says aggregate of 2 fortnights is 1 month. And that period is 1 complete day and night for the Pitta planets. So now it is giving the calculation of how long the day and night is for the Pitta planets, not Earth planet. 2 of such months comprise 1 season, and 6 months comprise 1 complete movement of the sun from south to north. Okay, so that completes our verses today of 6 to 11. And here there are many terms. I will just look up how many new terms were there till I think up to Prahara, Yama, fortnight. Yeah, so we started with Anu, Parmanu, Anu, Trasharenu. So Parmanu is the time for the sun to pass 1 Parmanu. Anu is 2 Parmanus. Trasharenu is 3 Anus. Truti is 3 Trasharenu. Veda is 100 Truti. Lava is 3 Vedas. 1 Nimesha is 3 Lavas. 1 Shana is 3 Nimeshas. 1 Kashtha is 5 Shanas, which is 8 seconds. 1 Laghu is 15 Kashtas, which is 2 minutes. And Nadika or Danda, 15 Laghus are 30 minutes. Muhurta is 2 Dandas, 1 hour. Prahara or Yama, that is 6 or 7 Dandas, are 3 hours. Day plus night, 4 plus 4 Praharas is 24 hours. 1 fortnight is 15 days and nights, we just read, which is 15 days. And 1 month, 2 fortnights is 1 complete day and night for the Pitru planets. And 1 month is 30 days for the modern time of Earth planet here. So a season is 2 months and Ayana is 6 months. 1 year is 2 Ayanas of the sun, which is 12 months. So basically against the modern time, we read about the Vedic terminologies. Now I was thinking this entire section is about divisions of time. So what is there about time in Bhagavad Gita and how to understand. So basically Time is very powerful, right? And we all know that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says in 11.32, if anyone wants to decide, 11.32, Krishna says, I am time, the ultimate destroyer, right? Kalosmi loka shayatakrit pravruddho lokan samahartum iha pravruttaha rutepi twamna bhavishyanti sarve ye avasthita pratyanikeshu yodaha. So Krishna says, time I am the great destroyer of all the worlds. And because he says this in response to Arjuna's question, because in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, talks about all his vibhutis, right? Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam. And so Arjun was very fortunate to see the Shyam Sundar form of Krishna in front of him, which is the highest perfection of taking darshan of Krishna. But he wanted to see his material form, because when Krishna explained all the vibhutis, so then Krishna gives him the darshan of his Vishwarup darshan and Kalarup darshan. So what is Vishwarup darshan is when Krishna shows everything in the entire universe in one place. That is Vishwarup darshan. And Kalarup darshan is when Krishna shows effects of time, all the effects together, past, present, and future. So there, and then Arjuna gets very afraid, and then he also says that what all he has seen in 11.16, he says that Aneka Bahudar Vaktra Netram Pashyami Tvam Sarvoto Ananta Rupam Nantam na Madhyam na Punastavadim Pashyami Vishveshwara Vishwarupa. O Lord of the universe and origin of the universal form, I see in your unlimited form many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded everywhere without limit. I see no end, no middle, and no beginning of this form. And why did Krishna bring this form to show to Arjun? To say that you perform your dharma as a Kshatriya. Your dharma is to fight against what is happening here, the injustice of the Kauravas, and you cannot not do your duty. That is called a false detachment. You do your duty, and whatever you do, like Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara Yudhyacha, offer all your work without expectation of any result to me, and that is as good as the Bhakti Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, and that will please Krishna. So you do your duty without any expectation of result, with full knowledge and detachment, and offer it all to me. That is called the real duty of a Kshatriya, rather than going to forest. Because earlier he said, I don't want to kill, and that would be, sin. So that's how Krishna explains. And then he shows this Rupa to show that, the power of Kala, the time is such that even if you don't kill all these people, with the effect of time, they are going to die anyway. And that's how he shows in his the universal form that Arjun can see all of them dead in Krishna's mouth, that they are all already dead. And then he says, Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. This is all done by me anyway. So just follow my instruction and do it. And that way you will do the best thing for yourself, which is following your dharma and doing your duty the right way, with the right intention and consciousness of pleasing me. And even Bhagavad Gita, it reminds me when it says Sarva Dharman Parityaja Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. What Krishna is saying is that Sarva Dharman Parityaja, in the sense that please Krishna. Whatever we do, if our purpose is to please Krishna, then that is the ultimate. In doing our duty, even as householder, for our preservation, we have to do so many things. We need to earn the money, run the house, look after the children, everything. But if we do with the right consciousness that we are, as Krishna says, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, part and parcel of Krishna, with that intention to please Krishna, if whatever activities we are doing for our preservation, with this ultimate purpose is that to please Krishna. Even a student is studying or gaining the knowledge, it is with this identification that Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das, right? That I am Krishna's part and parcel, I am Krishna's servant, I am doing this to please Krishna. And that is the way of living the life. And we are all trying to practice bhakti yoga, which is first thing in the morning, like we are chanting, we are taking shelter of Krishna. And recently I was listening one class I really liked. Why chant? Because there I heard is that we chant because we are preparing our consciousness for the whole day. We will get the energy to go through whatever comes our way. Through investing that 1.5, 2 hours of chanting, we are giving Krishna the priority in the morning. When we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are taking shelter of Krishna. We are chanting again and again his name. That is done with this. Well, I'm speaking for myself. I should do it. I'm not speaking for anyone. With this humble mood that here I am Krishna chanting to please you. I'm doing this for Krishna. I'm starting with my mind, my body, and then finally my heart. The name should come from my heart. So I'm trying to chant, speak and hear, speak and hear. So I am here present in this moment with you, Krishna. And then at that time, I'm not making plans what I'm going to cook, or again and again, the mind will go, but bring it back, because this time is with Krishna. If we invest that energy, that time, those moments with the right intention, then the day is so wonderful. The entire day, what comes your way, Krishna will give us the intelligence to you go through it in the right consciousness of mind, because we will be interacting with other people outside. We will be doing many activities where other places, people, circumstances, many things are involved. But if I will use my morning time in this way, Krishna will give me the intelligence to go through in the right consciousness, and then it will help me make right choices also in life. That's how I see it, because it's all about making right choices. Also for me at this stage, so we have to and I was also thinking that time is very, very powerful, like all the planets rulers, right? All the politicians, everyone, they are helplessly controlled by time. With time, even the satta, the power changes, right? The planets are changing. The earth planet is changing. We know the power of time. There are 4 times of pralayas, right? What are they? Naimitika pralaya, which happens at the end of Brahma's night. It's called occasional annihilation, where not all the 14 planets will annihilate. The first top 3 or 4 don't annihilate up to Maharloka or something. And then at the end of Brahma's life is the total annihilation, when everything will go back into Mahat Tattva, how it all started. That's at the end of Brahma's life, 100 years. So that is again now governed by time. It will happen with time. When the time will come, Brahma's 100 years finish, then it finish. It will all go back to the body of Mahavishnu. And at the night, it all goes back to the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And the third kind of pralaya is, I don't know whether it's third or fourth, but Atyantika pralaya is when our false ego will get destroyed. So that's at personal level. And that's a very fortunate if that happens with us, means that we will liberate. We will understand who we are, our relationship with Krishna, and will liberate. We will come out of this subtle, this body, the false ego, and the pure soul will go back to Krishna. That is Atyantika Pralaya. I mean, that's my understanding. And the constant Pralaya is Nitya Pralaya. It's we know that every moment, the time is doing this, and it's invisible, but it is happening. Our bodies are transforming. Everything that is created in the world is transforming. All the manifestations of matter, it is constantly getting annihilated at every second, and ultimately birth and death. So this is all run under the time's control. And we know time is Krishna, Kalosmi Loka, yeah? So, for example, even we age with time, and we are aging, our cells are changing all the time. If we put an apple or a flower here on the table, after a few hours, they will not look as fresh. Tomorrow, the flowers will fade. We change the fresh flower garlands on our deities every day. We see how beautiful at Bhaktivedanta manner. Why? because the flowers are fading. They are going through the Nitya Pralaya. So they are not fresh the next day. Even in the evening itself, if you compare the photo taken or video in the morning to evening, you will see the change in the flowers. They are not as fresh. So what I'm trying to say is that time is very, very powerful. And but for devotees, there is one good news. If I can find the shloka, I'll find the shloka if I can. It is called Ayur Harati 2317. If I can't find, then you can look up on your phone. For devotees, the time will not have any effect. Why? Because they are very smart. Why? They are utilizing their time the best way in Krishna Katha, in Krishna's names, chanting. So every rising and setting of the sun, they are coming closer to Krishna. How? Because we are coming closer to death, we are going back to Godhead, we are coming closer and closer as each sun sets and the next sunrise comes. So for devotees, it's not a sad news, and for devotees, actually Kala is not here to destroy them. So this verse explains it very beautifully. It is from second canto, third chapter, 17th verse. Ayur harati vai pumsam udyanastam cha yannasau tasyarte yad shano nita uttama shloka vartaya. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all good personality of Godhead. So, this is the crux, how best to utilize your time, because we know that when one dies, this subtle body will go to the next body. The mind, intelligence, and ego, all the impressions, past karmas, interactions, all that we have accumulated, will go to the next life with us. And if we purify our existence and subtle body this way, in the association of devotees discussing Krishna Katha, chanting the holy names, then we are utilizing our time the best way. This is the intelligent way of even preparing for next life. Once I had heard in Srila Prabhupada's class long time ago that devotees are very intelligent because they are not just thinking of this life, but they are thinking of many more lives to come, because they want to achieve the ultimate, which is Krishna Prema. So this is a very beautiful purport also. So we have some time, and if anyone wants to read, here it is, the purport.
I can read, Mataji.
Thank you, Shabani Mataji. Go ahead.
Thank you. Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This verse indirectly confirms the greater importance of utilizing the human form of life to realize our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by acceleration of devotional service. Time and tide wait for no man. So, the time indicated by the sunrise and the sunset will be uselessly wasted if such time is not properly utilized for realizing identification of spiritual values. Even a fraction of the duration of life wasted cannot be compensated by any amount of gold. Human life is simply awarded to a living entity, Jiva, so that he can realize his spiritual identity and his permanent source of happiness. A living being, especially the human beings, is seeking happiness because happiness is the natural situation of the living entity, but he is mainly seeking happiness in the material atmosphere. A living being is constitutionally a spiritual spark of the complete whole, and his happiness can be perfectly perceived in the spiritual activities. The Lord is the complete spirit whole, and his name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, and personality are all identical with him. Once a person comes into contact with any one of the above mentioned energies of the Lord through the proper channel of devotional service, the door to perfection is immediately opened. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.40, the Lord has explained such contact in the following words. Endeavors in devotional service are never baffled, nor is their failure a slight beginning of A slight beginning of such activities is sufficient even to deliver a person from the great ocean of material fears. As a highly potent drug injected intravenously act at once on the whole body, the transcendental topics of the Lord injected through the ear by the pure devotee of the Lord can act very efficiently. Oral realization of the transcendental messages implies total realization, just as fructification of one part of a tree implies fructification of all other parts. This realization for a moment in association of a pure devotee like Sukadev Goswami prepares one complete life for eternity. And thus the sun fails to rob the pure devotees of his duration of life. In as much Inasmuch as he is constantly busy in the devotional service of the Lord, purifying his existence. Death is a symptom of the material infection of the eternal living being. Only due to the material infection, the eternal living entity is subjected to the law of birth, death, old age, and disease.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you so much for reading. Yes, we should all read this purport. It's beautiful. Actually, this verses also opens up a completely new perspective that when I understood this verse, it was giving such peace and satisfaction also for our near and dear ones, because death is the ultimate reality, the only thing which is certain to happen to everyone. And this changes the perspective that if you understand, here also it says Neha Pikramanashos 3, right? The 2.40 is quoted by Prabhupada. And how that with every setting of the sun and rising of the sun, devotee is coming closer and closer to Krishna, and he's not wasting his time because he's discussing the Krishna Katha. And also, this reminds me, we have a few minutes. There is one verse in Kunti Maharani's prayer which is connected to this. It is 1.8.35, and that is Bhaveshya Klishyamana. Let's see if it is there. Yeah, it's coming now. 1835 भवेस्मिन् क्लिश्यमानानाम् अविद्या कामकर्मभिः श्रवणस्मरणार्हाणि करिष्यन्निति केचन. What it means, that yet others say, Kunti Maharani says that you, means Krishna, appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned soul suffering from material pangs might take advantage and get liberation. So that's what we are also discussing, that how to utilize the time the best way. And why is there suffering? Just now in the verse, purport Srila Prabhupada said that there is suffering and material pangs. Why? Because of avidya. Because of ignorance, one is suffering. He doesn't have the knowledge of about what is in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, how to come out of this vicious cycle of birth and death. Because of that ignorance, he has material desires. Because if you are not serving Krishna, then you are serving Maya, right? Then you have, if you don't have spiritual desires, obviously there are material desires. You want these, that to actually satisfy the senses, like sense gratification, which is never to be satiated. So avidya, ignorance, brings it to material desires, which makes us do activities to achieve those desires, karma. Avidya kama karma bhi. And what will that do? That will bring kleshas. It will bring lots of misery. So from ignorance to material desires to material activities brings us to misery. And how to come out of this? So first two lines are giving the problem, that this is the problem, we are stuck in material world, and the solution is in the two lines thereafter. How will you come out? Shravana Smaranarhani. Shravana, hearing, pastimes, and Smaranarhani, remembering Krishna and chanting, reading. Karishyaniti Kechana. That's how we will come out of this problem, by worshipping, hearing, remembering to attain the Krishna Prema. We will do all of this, and that is the solution of ignorance, material desires, and karma and kleshas. And again, we know that there are so many other verses like that we can talk about. Bhagavad Gita 9.2 also, there is this verse, right? It says, Raj Vidya Rajguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavāgamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. So all this knowledge is there in Bhagavad Gita. Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam, confidential knowledge is available in Bhagavad Gita. All we have to open it and read it with devotees and read Prabhupada's purports and discuss, then the solution is there. And also in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.7, it is saying clearly that there is this verse 1.2.7, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Janayatyasu Vairagyam Gnanam Chaya Dahaitukam. So it what it says that if we will Vasudeve Bhagavati, if we will take to devotional service or bhakti yoga, try to even practice little bit, then slowly we'll get the knowledge and detachment from this material activities and all this problem that is here in the first two lines. It will come. Krishna promises that it will come. Knowledge will come and detachment will come. You will. Whole thing is, we've heard so many times, detach from Maya, attach to Krishna. Because it is two-way process. It's not just one thing detaching, right? Then you need to attach to something. For even example, children, if they are always on television or mobiles and video games, all that, so we tell them, don't use all this, but then you need to give them some good activity to do, which is okay, go out and play in the fresh air or play some nice mental games with children. Lots of things are available now. Read books, workbooks on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, where they ask questions and children can ask each other and discuss, play games. And then those cards are also available, shloka cards, memorization, all this. So they are detaching from this social media. They need to attach to something good. So in the same way we will detach from matter, but luckily thanks to our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada, they have given us a perfect process, which is chanting in the morning, then at home or at temple attending Mangal Harti with devotees, then hearing Srimad Bhagavatam where we are using our intelligence. Then throughout the day we have activities. We go on to do whatever is our profession. We go on using our senses, our body for those services. Evening is also then again you are offering whatever you have made, and then you are eating the prasad and sitting down with the family and discussing how the day was. And so some time has also been given for rejuvenation, and that time can also be very Krishna conscious. I mean, that's the ideal way for me also to learn a lot from it. I have not prepared the class today. I have literally spoken from what all I hear all the time, whatever came to my mind. So please forgive me if I made any mistakes. I'm concluding. And if you have any comments, and please add anything you want to. I must have missed a lot of things. I don't know much about time and all this terminology. So I simply read the verses. So Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhe Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All the Vaishnavas ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So if there is nothing, we conclude. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
You said you didn't prepare, but you really explained nicely about the time factor. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. That was a wonderful class. Very enlightening. Thank you.
Thank you, Patimataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Harivardhan Prabhuji. Shobna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very much.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.